everybody, this is Noxious here, and welcome to Planet Coaster. And this is the third episode, so the first thing I'm going to do in this episode is name this first ride I built. Because I built this in episode 1. 2 episodes later, I'll name something, so we're calling this Candy Swinger. Simple name, I quite like it. It's a chair swing built around different candies, so here I am, just putting it into here, make it official. And then that ride is complete. And that is when I'm happy with the ride and it's all finished. Well, I say it's finished. I'm gonna just add these little bits here, because I wanted to build these little biscuits up around the edge, and I think to the side it needs a little bit more work, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll finish some work off camera, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I just go around here. I'm making them a little bit not in line, just so it doesn't look like one biscuit all in a row. I just like little separate biscuits all placed around. I could have used different coloured ones, but I just stuck with the same colour. Thought about going all the way around the edge, but I don't think it's necessary. Maybe just a little bit past the queue line. But other than that, yeah, it's all done. So here I'm just neatening up the edges here of this pathway, making it a bit more curvy, and then I'm going to add in toilet huts, food halls around this area. So here I just bring in this little bit of a hill at the back, just to take what we're putting in the toilet block in there, and next to it we're going to have first aid and an ATM machine. Perfect, just what you need for a little bit of convenience. And here I put in your food hall area. I thought about having grass, and then I changed my mind. I thought, no, it's going to look better sticking to the same path colour. So here now I put in all different foods. I think I put in burgers, hot dogs, ice cream, and some sort of drinks. Maybe smoothies I put in, I can't remember now. And then at the top we put in an information and a gift shop, which is hats. And that's it. Now I start building up the building around this, because we're going to have a building around maybe in a Tudor-esque style. So this is just putting in the window fronts, the shop fronts, and the walls, and just building out basic floor plan of how this is going to be. Now I did it sitting forward on the line. Now I've decided I wanted it sitting backwards, sitting behind the line. I like that better, so I stick with that. Yeah, that's nice. Let's finish that off. Okay, then I carry on with these walls. Now I did these walls slightly wrong, and I will change them at some point. Don't think I changed them on camera, but this has kind of like too much detail on the walls. So yeah, I think that's better if they were a bit plain. And when you'll turn around to the front, you'll see the difference. If you see the difference in this left-hand corner, there's a plain wall, one with a bit too much detail. So I changed that. But just now getting a shape right that I kind of like. It's fine, but when you come to a roof, it gets quite hard. So if you are building a building, I would suggest doing squares and rectangles, because if you're not very competent with roofs, because it's quite hard to get the right roof pieces, but I would always say try and work a little bit out of your comfort zone, and that way you learn more. So on the next level I put in the windows first, just to give me a right placement, and then just filled in the walls around the top. Now here I do like these walls with more detail, and as you see I'm changing that one there, and that's where I'm going to have a whole bottom, and I think that'll look a lot nicer. So I'll just put in some pillars, because the roof is going to have an overhang at the front, and I think that'll kind of like tie the whole area in as an overhang, and I think that'll look good. You can see these people walking around, they're the shopkeepers. Even though the park's closed, the shopkeepers are still about. I think they might quit at some point because they're not doing anything. There we go, I just turned the pillow around. Oh, I will do. I don't know why I took it away, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So it comes up that way, and you flip it 180 degrees, and then you got a nice, oops, trying to get it right, hang on, what am I doing? There we go, and then that sits lovely on top there. There we go. Get a bit of a zoom in to make sure it fits. There we go. You've got some nice pillars. And I put in these little window boxes at the front just to give it a bit more, bit of a detail there, bit of a better look. I'll just do one at the top there and stick some pillars underneath. I think that looks nice as well. Oh, don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm just putting in a bit of edging here just to make it look nice. So you haven't got horrible joins. And the great thing is you can just go into, so long as it's not pointing out the other side, you can just move the scenery into the scenery, so long as it's, nothing can be seen from the inside. This is a theme park, it's all a facade, there's nothing real about it, so doesn't matter really. And now time for the roof. Just choosing what roof I like, and I start with this overhang because that's the important bit. That's going to be the kind of like the look that gives the whole buildings, yeah, make it look nice. So that's how we start. I don't want the overhang the other side because I don't want it coming down in front of these windows, so I'll just do it like this. Oops. And I'm slowly getting better at placements of things, so get a little bit quicker. Excuse me. And there we go. Now comes the hard bit where you're joining things together, getting it at the right heights. And the more I learn, the easier it becomes. It's these corners here that I found a little bit tricky. But just follow in your lines, make sure it all fits in nicely. There's a little bit that didn't work, you'll see, where I just put in a wall instead. The lines didn't match up, so I put a bit of a wall just to tie it together. And luckily that works lovely. And yeah, I think it's here that I struggled with a piece. Yeah. I struggled to find the correct piece there. But that's okay. So just fill in a bit of wall around here. Must be a small wall. Oh, there we go. I put something out the back. And then that covers that top wall when I bring it down. And that's a nice little tip. If there's something that doesn't quite work, put something in front of it. Just cover it up. That's the great thing about the mechanics of this building, is you can just cover things over. Just doesn't matter. So here, just putting in some little fronts for the shops to make it look a bit prettier. Draw your eye to the shops. Just got to line that up nicely. There we go. That one in there. That one in there. Those with eagle eyes may have noticed I put 2 burger bars in there, 2 burger shops. That does change. I do change that. I think I've already changed it now. I've changed it to ice creams, but I went around, put some signs just outside the shops. There's only a massive sign for this hat, so I put it there. They're kind of like a big sign for the area. Now I put in a few benches, a few bins, and some window boxes for the underneath the windows. And a few plants here and there, just to brighten up the area, so it's not all looking plain. And that's about it. There isn't a lot more I did around here. Just getting these plants in the right position. Something I do forget is you can change the colour of the plants. I pretty much always go with the colour it gives me, but you can change it to any colour. It has a palette you can choose from, so the colours are limitless for your plants, which is fantastic. It's the range of things to do. So there we go. Just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully it's not as hard as the other side was. There we go. Do it from the front. Makes it a little bit easier. Ooh, ooh. Should have zoomed in a little bit, it would have been a bit easier. And then put 4 of these bushes around here. And there. I'm quite happy with that area. I think it looks nice. Just going to put some few plants around the front, like this. Put in some rocks just to break up that plant feel. I just don't want all plants everywhere. So a few rocks here and there always breaks things up. And then that looks nice. I like that. So I've just finished off around the edges. Put a few plants here or there. Just, I don't know, just to cover up the ugliness of the back and the side, tie things together. There we go. Just put a few of these rose bushes in. Okay, so it's about time I'm going to start my roller coaster, and unfortunately I lost the footage, or I must have forgotten to press record when I was building the roller coaster, which is really annoying because it's my first roller coaster on this game, and this is Planet Coaster. You want to be seeing me building a coaster, so all you get is me seeing the first station, lift hill and turnaround section, and then it cuts out, so I have to apologise. I can't go back and redo what I've already done, so I've just got to stick with it. So I promise my next area I'm going to do the roller coaster first, and I'm going to make it the big highlight. I'm going to do a big coaster, a thrill coaster, and you'll get to see me building a coaster. In fact, it might even be the next episode, because I'm not going to finish this area in this episode. I might finish it off camera. So here we go. I'm just going to put in the station, adjust which way round you want the queue line to enter and exit, which is what you can see here. And there we go. Just start adjusting where I want this lift hill to begin. So I start with a little dip down just to build the excitement a little bit, and then bring the hill up. Oh, not quite in the right place. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. I just want to make sure this lift hill goes right to the edge of the park. And it's not going over the pathway. So when you look up, you can see this lift hill going up next to you as you're walking around the path. And then you don't want it going over you, really. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, just trying to get the line. Yeah, there we go, we got it there. And the lift hill begins. I've decided to do a kicker lift hill. It's nice and smooth kicker lift hills instead of a chain. So that'll kind of like maybe increase the enjoyment a little more, rather than have a as you're going up the hill. It's just nice, smooth and gentle, taking you up. Because this is a junior coaster, it's set around a dragon theme. I don't know a name yet. The station will have knights in there and crowns, you'll see later. And there'll be a dragon, maybe I don't know, I'm just trying to think of a name. So any suggestions for names? I always need suggestions for names of different rides, so please comment them below if you can think of anything. I'm thinking maybe something like Dragon Escape, or I don't know, but yeah, it's like a dragon escaping a castle, something like that. Give me your suggestions, that'll be great. I've completely stopped doing something here. I don't know what I'm doing. Thinking about life, maybe? Perhaps I'm watching television. Something got my attention on the television. Who knows? Perhaps I'm watching one of my friends' YouTube channels. Please check them out. They're in my recommended list. I think it's called recommended list at the side. You'll see recommended channels. There's some people there you might want to check out. Let me think. There's Mama Bear there. There's Scouse Mouse, Gobspit, Flash Rabbit and Fizzing Bob. Sorry Bob, I nearly forgot you there. And there's a couple of big channels there. Theme Park Worldwide, who does this sort of thing. Coaster Crazy, who does vlogs around theme parks. There's a few really good people there who I thoroughly recommend checking out. Anyway, let's get back to this now. I've stopped doing nothing whatsoever, and now I'm going to make the first drop. I think I might want to bring it round there. So do a little turnaround section just as you get to the house. Or the building. It's not really a house, is it? I first go over the house. I don't like that at all. It's so I think bring that back. I might even bring that lift hill a bit steeper. I can't remember what I'd done. Yeah, I do no, that still over the house. I don't like it. As you see, I'm just keep trying to adjust things. You see, this is a really easy way of doing things. You can adjust the length of track. You can bring the angle around as much as and little as you want. So it's really easy to adjust things on here. Adjust the banking easily. Just everything's so easy to use. Oh, now I've stopped again. Try and think what to do. And I think it's pretty soon that it'll be cutting off. And what I'm going to do is do a little cinematic view of the finished coaster. So that'll be coming up soon. So I once again apologise for not showing making the whole of this roller coaster. It's a real shame, but if I haven't got the footage, I don't have it. I'm sorry. Okay, there's no more apologising for that. Let's go in and watch the cinematic view. Here it comes. Are you ready for this? I quite like how this is looking. This is quite finished quite nicely. It's not the easiest thing to build a roller coaster and get it right, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So here it comes. And there it goes, down there and up and over. It's nice airtime hills, and there's no inversions in this. This is just a junior coaster. A nice round helix over a few more hills, another airtime hill, a nice gentle airtime hills, and round to the end. And that's it. A nice, easy, quite a short layout, but I would expect that to be quite a fun coaster if you're on it, especially if you're a kid. You'd want to go on that over and over again. So I put in the queue lines, the exit line. I've had to make them quite long because I wanted it set right back, because this is going to be a castle in the middle, and I wanted the view of the castle to be quite far away. You needed to walk towards the castle, build up the excitement of the coaster. And here, this is I started this. I put in some scenery around the station area, and I didn't like the colour of these walls. They didn't fit with the castle style I wanted, so I changed the colours of the walls. And I'm going to do a little bit of skipping because you don't want to see me putting walls down everywhere, but I just want to give you the kind of idea of how I bring up different areas of the castle, different levels I make. And here we go. I think this looks a lot better, the colour of these walls, the stone. And I build up this edge here, You see these two corners, I build them up, and this is how I did the other one. So I'll show you how I done the other side. Oh, not very good angle I've got there, is it? But yeah, I just build up these, stick them in there. So you see, you put in scenery, so long as it's the same colour, it just fits well. It's just, it knows what you want to do. It's so intuitive of what you want to do, and just everything fits nicely. There's not any ugly lines everywhere. So just putting a floor all over the place, and I'm really happy with that. It's kind of easier than I thought it was going to be building this castle. I thought it was going to take a long time to work out where I wanted my turrets and how I wanted it all to look, but after building the bottom and then building up one of the sides here, this I don't know, is it a turret? I don't know what you'd call that, but after building that up, it kind of fit into place. It's just I realised I needed something in the middle. I think any second now I'll go to the back and I'll build up a big tower, a big main. Perhaps that would be the keep, I suppose, the main tower in the centre, and I'll set it back a little bit as well, and that really ties the whole thing in together. There, I'll just bring the floor to the level of this wall, and that's lovely. I could have even put animatronics on the outside, guards walking around, but I didn't do that. And that's the central column that I'm building. I think that's nice. I'll just bring up this design I'm doing with the circles on the corners, just to keep following the theme throughout. Once you get the hang of using your easy move, what do they call it? Yeah, you can even move things around yourself, or you can hold your X down, and that'll just bring things up and down. It's just a really easy way to move things about. And there. Now I'm just going to top these off. As you see, you don't need to use the whole of the piece of scenery. If you only want a little bit of it, move it into your scenery you already have. Like I did here, I didn't use the whole of this semicircle thing. I just brought it into the scenery just to give it a little bit of detail around the edging. I bring it up again. I realised this needed to be higher just to accommodate these roofing pieces, so it just didn't look like it was sitting on the wall. This looks a lot better now, I think. Sit them on there, and I make this a bit more grand and make a little gold edge in there, just to say this is where the king lives. In here, this is the nice area, and that's pretty much done that. Beautiful. So I'll just put in a few, what do I put in, some windows now? What am I doing? Yeah, windows. Windows are really easy to place. You can place them any way you like, just same as anything in the game. Just find a spot, put it down. So I want a big window for this, the front of this. Nice grand window. And I'll get a few more of these, dot them around, make them a little bit random. Oh, bit of a silhouette look there. I think this castle's starting to look really nice. what I would recommend if you're doing a big building like this, don't think about the big picture. Think about perhaps what you want to do, but just do it one step at a time. Do the floor and then build up the next layer, and slowly things will take place. And you might not be the same as what you had in your mind originally, but as it goes, you can change things, make things a little better, because unless you know exactly what you want to do and you're trying to do exactly, things are quite simple just to change things around. So I would recommend just do it, let it grow naturally. Okay, and that's almost done. I think I put in a couple of doors, a couple more windows here and there. There we go. And I put in a few flags on the top of it, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Give it a bit of colour. There we go, a few flags about. So now I'm doing a super fast mode of terrain building. I just want to build up this corner here. As you're coming towards an end, I want it to go into a tunnel, just to give the ride a little bit of something extra, something a bit interesting. So I put in a tunnel. Now I want to build up kind of mountains round behind this castle, just so it's not so plain, because this is the end of the area. You won't be going any further than this, so we're just going to build that up, and this is what I get a general shape, and then you'll see I'll roughen it up later so it looks a bit more jaggedy and a little bit more worn. So there we go. We're just going to make this a little bigger. Rough, just give those edges a bit more, and there we go, roughing it up there. I think that makes things look a lot nicer. It also gives it that kind of fantasy look, that it's not so smooth. It's interesting to look at. And there we go. I just all around this castle now, I'm just building up little bits of terrain, and build up around the edges here wherever I can. A little bit more of a tunnel there as you're coming through that helix. And there we go. And I'd always recommend doing your terrain after you've built something. Don't try and build something around some terrain, because it's quite hard. It's so easy. If you want a tunnel, build a tunnel afterwards, because it's so much easier to do it like that. I'm just going to build that up here just to look like it's going round there. There we go, it flows around. That's looking quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to put in a few trees there. There we go. Different colours to make it look nice. I know if it's autumn, they all should be one colour, but I'm mixing up the colours just to make it look nice. And here we go. We're just going to have a little look at some finished articles. I put in some scenery around the queue line there. I'll probably put in a few plants, but not a lot. And same inside. So this is a station, how it looks. And I'll probably put a few more plants at the bottom here. As you can see, it's a bit bare there, so I'll just probably change that a little. And then I like that gate coming through. That's all set to a trigger, so as the car approaches, it opens up and then closes. So that's nice. Right, now something I have missed: naming the park. And this comes from Giraffe Queen, and she has given me the name, well, she suggested 5 Isles of Adventure, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to stick with the 5. I might have more than 5 isles, so I'm just going to call it Isles of Adventure. and I think that's a really lovely name. And it also gave me the idea to set these. You may have noticed I've set the terrains to different little islands around. You probably get a look of them later, but there we go. I'm just going to look at a few finished rides of the area. The chair swing there, and the other one was the teacups. There's my food hall. And I don't know if I show you a finished shot of the log flume, but here's the back, and I did build up the train. You saw in the last video, I think it was, me building up the log flume, and then I put in the off shot. I put in all this caves, and I put in lighting all around here in the inside. And when I complete this area, I will do some POVs of the rides. So that's about all for this episode, and thanks for watching. I hope to catch you in another video. There's a final shot of the park. I'm going to say goodbye. Bye bye.